Hey y'all, I'm Jody Walls.
I'm Brady Brock.
And Gumtree's proud to bring to you the Cody Stubblefield pregame show.
Go Bulldogs!
Make up of the game. If you come out and hit them in the mouth from the first play, we're going to be fine.
Hello and welcome to Inside New Albany High School Football. My name is Robert Garrett. I'm here with Coach Cody Stubblefield and also Mr. Paul Henry. He's the middle school principal here in New Albany. We want to welcome you to our broadcast that's brought to you by Gumtree Mortgage.
Okay, first of all, Coach, just like to talk to you about, preseason preparation this year.
Sure.
What did that look like, and how did it change any or coming in this year?
Yeah, well, first thing I want to say is, you get into the next season as soon as that last season ended. So last year after the Greenwood, we gave them a short time off, a week or so, and then that preparation begins right there. This season, it looked a little different due to the COVID-19 situation and everything. Our guys pushed through that. They've handled it extremely well. Before there's the off season that they had, the summer workouts, and then our camp and getting into the season thus far. So they've done everything we've asked them to do. We're excited about that. But, that preparation starts immediately following the last season.
Yeah, so that's the coronavirus piece has probably been a little bit difficult to manage as a coach, because I can imagine being outside with a 100-degree temperature and a mask on can be a challenge, especially for the kids. So how has the coronavirus kind of changed what you do in your program? Sure.
I think the biggest thing is we've tried to make sure we stayed 6 feet apart. We've worn our masks and our face coverings at all times. Hydration is a big thing when football, it's hot outside, obviously, and we got to make sure those guys stay hydrated. We've been very fortunate. The district's provided bottled water. We've also had some Napa step in and provided some water for us. So every water break, they get their own plastic bottle. They'll drink it, and then we're able to dispose of it. So hydration's looked a little different. The situation around practice has looked a little different. But like I said, our guys have done what we've asked them to do. They've stayed 6 feet apart. They've made sure they got in and out of the field house quickly. We focused on sanitation as well as we could and make sure everything is clean. And we've got the fogger that the district has provided us. So every day after practice, those guys are in and out, and we come behind them and spray that locker room down. So there's a lot of different things we do to try to make sure we're being safe, doing what the CDC recommends, the Mississippi Department of Health, and what Tammy Reed in our district is telling us as well.
Yeah, and one thing I noticed is every time I came to practice, every time I was around the coaches, they would be out there coaching away with their mask on, trying to stay 6 feet apart as much as possible. So they've really worked hard to follow those guidelines.
Absolutely. We want to play. We want these kids to play. We want everybody to stay healthy in the process. So we don't want to give anybody an opportunity to miss a game due to COVID-19. We want to make sure that everybody's as safe as we can and ultimately gets to have the season that we can have.
Right.
We're all ready for football. I know that.
No doubt.
Tell us a little bit about players. What do you see coming up to the forefront? What are your go-to guys?
Yeah, so, anytime anybody asks that question, we usually start with those seniors. A couple of our go-to guys on offense, one of them is going to be Isaiah Karan. Isaiah is a kid that played 6 games last year and still led the division in receiving. He had an injury that kind of held him out, but he's a guy that can score at any point. He gets the ball in his hands, so we're excited about what he can do on offense. You'll see him on defense. He'll come in third down and long. We might need somebody locked up or something as far as man coverage, or just we just need somebody to meet his ability in the game at that point.
And what number's Isaiah?
Isaiah's 14. He's number 14. Another guy very similar to Isaiah is Mason Simmons. Mason is a kid that works extremely hard. He's a guy that does everything we ask him to do. He's in the right position. He's got very good instincts at safety. You'll see him at the other slot receiver. You'll also see him as our starting safety. He's a guy that just has an instinct and is always around that football. So those are two guys. I think offensively, anytime you talk offense, we're going to go towards the offensive line. So Adam Conley is an offensive line guy, senior that anchors that offensive line. He's a physical guy that gets after it, tries to every play to punish somebody. He's got the mentality that you want up front. Trey Dean's another senior. Him and Parker Forms, on that left side. Parker's our left tackle. Trey Dean's our left guard. And those two guys bring some experience to the table as well. So we've got a lot of experience up front. That combined with Isaiah and Mason, we're excited about what we can do on offense. Defensively, there's a lot of seniors as well. I think our defense, we look to those outside linebackers are probably the key to our defense. And those guys this year, there's two seniors in those positions. One of them is A.I. Nugent. The other is Shamarcus Smith. Those are guys that, play with speed. They're strong. They get after it. So we're looking forward to what they can do on the field on that edge for us. Inside, Jackson Formsma and Lewis Creekmore are some guys that you'll see at inside linebacker. So, and then from there on, you go into the secondary where Marion Crawford is a returning DB. We've got a new kid named Tay High, who you've seen on the basketball court, that will also kind of come in and transition and play some in the secondary as well for us.
Awesome.
So a lot of seniors, those guys were sophomores when this staff got here and was in place, and so we've seen them grow, and now they're to the age where they've got a lot of experience under them.
And when we look at the defensive scheme, how have things maybe changed, or how are they the same? Are y'all still going to run a 3-4 or a 3-3 stack? What's that going to look like?
So we've got a new defensive coordinator. Trent Hammond is kind of coming to the table. Left Tupelo as their head coach, came here as our defensive coordinator. We're still going to be in a 3-4 defense. I think the mentality of speed over size is still there. We want guys on the field that can run as fast as they can be and can cover, and speed causes problems on defense. Right. So there's going to be a lot of things that are the same, but there's going to be some things that, whether it's the mentality or whether it's adjustments that are being made, things that are different. Bottom line, we want those guys out there playing fast, not thinking. And Coach Hammond brings a mentality of aggressiveness and just a desire to be hungry for the ball, and just every day they break it down to psycho defense at the end of the set. So there's a mentality change there as well that he brings to the table.
Yeah, and as I've been around you and the coaching staff, it's one of the most impressive coaching staffs I've ever been around, and they're super talented with tons of experience and tons of success. Can you just walk down each position and tell us who coaches it, and then a little bit about that coach?
Yeah, absolutely. So, first off, we've got Trent Hammond. Trent Hammond is new to the staff. He's been the head coach for 19 years. He's going to serve as our defensive coordinator and assistant head coach. Trent brings a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge to our staff. To go along with him, our offensive coordinator continues to be Cody Stubblefield. He's been here that entire time I've been here for 3 years. He's very good run game oriented.
Sure,
he's scripting all of our practices. He brings a physicality to the offensive line that I think is crucial to success in football.
And Colin's a former Bulldog too.
No doubt. He played his junior year and senior year here, and he was part of that season to remember, that 13-1 season.
That's right. That's right.
So those are two coordinators. The next guy is Kendall Murphy. He's been here for the same amount of time, that 3 years that we've all been here, or myself and Coach Stubblefield have been here. Kendall serves as our special teams coordinator. He's also our inside linebackers coach. Kendall is very involved with the ninth grade as well. So Kendall, he's got a lot of different roles that he plays, but he's a guy that gets a lot done for us and does a good job.
Awesome.
Sean Sanks is another new addition. Came along with Coach Hammond from Tupelo. He's got a lot of ties in the community. His wife's a teacher here, but Sean coached outside linebackers for Coach Hammond last year. So he brings, a year under that system to the table.
That's awesome.
So we're excited about him coaching those guys. Then, Josh Curbo's another guy on offense. Josh has been with us for 3 years.
What position is he coaching?
Josh coaches our running backs.
Okay.
So he does that. He's also involved with ninth grade. And then the last guy on our staff is Jake Mcdonald. Jake, like Colin, is a new Albany guy. Jake went on and played at Delta State and has come back now. He's serving as our wide receivers coach. So we're excited about it. I think we've got a good mix of older coaches with experience and those young guys that are energetic and can get after it.
Yeah, and I know, having been a coach in the past and a young coach, that it's so valuable as a young coach to be around some of those more veteran coaches that
Sure.
you can learn from. You know, the staff that we were on together with Coach Monroe and some of the other coaches, we just learned so much.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, experience is crucial. You know, Coach Hammond brings a lot of experience to the table. This is my 12th year in high school football. I like to think I bring some experience to the
Sure.
table as well. So I think we've got a good group that's balanced, both with experience and then just you know, youth and just energy. And
Sure.
you know, and I say that Coach Hammond's got as much energy as any of us. He's bouncing all over the field down there. So we've got a good group of men that are leading this program. You know, I've got a great assistant staff.
And
So
the
Coach
players
Staff-
really seem to respond to them well.
Yeah.
Well,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, and one thing talking about that, you know, when you became a head coach here, you started your legacy, right? Your traditions.
Sure.
You obviously got a lot of great traditions also. If you would, take a little time now to reflect on some of the great things that happened last year and maybe some big moments with the team last year as far as their season.
You know, as far as, like you said, New Albany's got a lot of history and a lot of success in winning football games. One of those years was that season to remember when I was assistant here. You know, as a coaching staff, you know, there's a lot of wins down there that are brought to the table when you look at the staff-wise. You know, when we got here, you know, it's been a while since a winning season had been established. It had been a while since a playoff win had been established. So those are goals that we've kind of done the last two seasons. You know, the first season we had a winning season. Year two, we won our first home playoff game in a while. So I think we've been taking strides. You know, a couple of moments last year that stick out vividly in my mind. One of those would be the Pontotoc game. You know, we battled it out offensively, put a lot of points on the board, got into overtime. You know, they scored. It was our turn. We took the ball, scored, and at that point, we made the decision to either kick the field goal and go into or the extra point. I'm sorry, and go into extra overtime a second time, or do you stop and win it right there? I think with our confidence in our offensive line and C.J. Hill running the ball, you know, the decision was made to go for it. Those guys came through, got in, won the game by going for that 2-point conversion. So that was a huge moment, I think, for our program. Another time that I think was a big moment last year was that home playoff win. We played Shannon here that first round, and you know, the first half went, you know, was kind of a stalemate. We didn't break away. They were still in the game. The second half, I think our offensive line and the running game took over. The defense stepped up, and we separated and just dominated the second half. So the way our guys responded and beat a good football team that second half was a memory that I'll have for a long time.
Right.
Yeah, those were exciting games to be at, too.
No doubt.
Sure.
No doubt. I can tell you that night we punched it in on Pontotoc, you know, this place erupted.
Yeah.
It was a great moment, great atmosphere, everything here at the stadium.
You know, the whole time we want this to be the place that people want to be on Friday nights, and I think that's catching on. And you know, there's nothing more exciting than high school football.
No doubt.
So let's walk through real quick through your schedule and talk to us first about, I know that you had some games reduced, lost
Sure.
some games due to COVID, but talk to us. I know that this Friday, the game that we're pre-gaming right now is the Nettleton scrimmage.
Yeah.
So if you could, that game has been moved to Saturday, which will be tomorrow.
Right.
Tell me kind of the format for that game.
Sure. You know, so first the MSSJ came in and they took away the first 2 weeks. They pushed the season back, so we lost our home opener against East Union and a home game against Itawamba. They went back in and allowed us to schedule a scrimmage after the fact, so we picked up Nettleton for that game. Nettleton's coming to us tomorrow. We're going to play a modified scrimmage. We're going to start the game off with kickoffs. They're going to kick off to us 3 times. We'll turn around, kick off to them 3 times to practice that. And then it'll get into, we're going to have Nettleton start on the 25. They're going to have 6 minutes of offense. After that 6 minutes of regulation, you know, if they turn the ball over, if they throw a pick, if they score, or if they are stopped after 4 downs, they'll come back to that 25 and keep going.
Keep going.
You know, what that does is it allows a team that makes sure they get enough reps on offense, enough reps on defense to get some good work in for a scrimmage.
Sure.
After Nettleton is on offense, New Albany will turn it around. We'll be on offense, so we'll have our 6 minutes. There'll be some special teams in between that, and then we'll redo the second quarter in the same format. After the varsity does 2 quarters, the JV will come in and do that 3rd quarter. So, and it'll be done the same way.
Awesome, yeah. So once the scrimmage is over, the next week, week 1, we're at Pontotoc. So do you want to kind of talk about what to expect at Pontotoc this year? And
You know, Pontotoc, they're a well-coached team. They're always going to be sound on offense and defense. They're a team that, you got to have to show up in order to win. I think we match up well against them. I think, we're going to go into it expecting to win that game. Friday nights are about taking care of your job, and our guys got to go in. They got to be focused. And they got to be disciplined, and they got to play hard. I think if we do those things, after the Pontotoc game, we're going to feel good about it.
And then on September 11th, we open at home with Boonville.
Right.
And then on to Hernando and Amory is away. So after we play away at Pontotoc, we'll play 2 home games, and then go to Amory. When does division play begin?
So North Pontotoc opens up division. We'll go to North Pontotoc on October the 9th. Unlike some of the other schools around there, districts around, we've got 5 teams in our division, so that's the reason for that off week there. We go to North, and then the next week we're going to go to Corinth. So we're on the road the first 2 times of the division, and then Tisch County and Ripley will come here to kind of wind out that division play. So we're on the road twice, then we'll come be at home twice.
Well,
Awesome.
I can tell you one thing. You've got some traditionally strong programs early in the season to kind of get you ready for your district play, right?
I think that's ready. That we always talk about the season being split into 2 seasons, or 3 seasons. I'm sorry. The first one is that non-division, then you get into the division, and then you're in the playoffs. So you definitely don't want to go through the division to feel like you haven't played anybody. You want to line some competition up there that sees your guys' stress, that makes them work, and see how you're able to progress as a team. And then, it's the coach's job to kind of hone in on those things they're doing well and modify the things they're not and to prepare yourself. So I think that's a big part of playing a tough non-division schedule.
Well, leading into that, we know who's in front of us, right?
Right.
What are going to be some keys to success this year with your football team?
I'm going to be a little cliche here. The thing I think as far as that breeds success on the football field is, one, you got to be able to run the football. We're going to make sure we can establish a run game with that experienced offensive line and the big running backs that we're going to bring to the table. And then we're going to play really good defense. We talked a little bit about the speed that we want to put in and the mentality that the defense is going to have. If you can run the football and play defense effectively and limit turnovers, you're going to win a lot of games. So those would be the 3 keys: run game, great defense, limit turnovers. And I think that would win a lot of games.
Yeah, and you've been coaching for a long time, and there's some teams where you have to coach effort, and there's some teams where you don't, and they just love being there. And so can you talk about a little bit how Corona changed the attitude of the team because they lost football for such a long period of time? And being in this beautiful weight room, and I think about when the players come in and they're working hard in this environment, how has their attitude changed, and how hard have they worked getting ready for these games?
Well, one thing we tell our guys, we shouldn't have to coach effort. Even though you might do it from time to time, you shouldn't have to. The effort should always be there.
Sure.
You always want to be hungry for it. I think anytime you lose something, which like they lost their spring, they lost the ability to come in here and work out. They lost the ability to be around their friends working hard for the same goal. You better appreciate it when you come back. So I think they're a little more hungry than they have been. They're anticipating this season being one that we bring a lot of talent and experience to the table, and so there's a chance for us to be very successful. So there's anticipation also there. They're ready to get after it, ready to get started, and we're glad it's here. Tomorrow they're going to kick off and be really excited about that.
All right, one more thing is the home games here this year will be live streamed on YouTube. Obviously, this scrimmage is being live streamed on YouTube as well. If you would, visit our school website, nasd.ms, and you can follow our YouTube page. Also, Coach, will you tell them the football social media that you've got so that they can kind of follow you on social media?
So we're at NAHSFball.com. On Twitter. We've also got a Facebook page. So both those sites we update regularly. People follow us. We put all kind of announcements and things where we're thinking, whether it's thanking sponsors or just keeping people up to date with what we're doing. So those are two things. You talked about the live stream a little bit. That's something that's new to New Albany. We're awfully excited about it. With the things that the governor's put into place as far as 2 tickets per participant, that created a great need for our fans and supporters to want to check out the game and to get to experience that. So that live stream is something that we're excited about. Some different sponsors, whether it's B&A Bank has stepped in, 5 Star Realty, Gumtree Mortgage, Creekmore Landscaping, Napa, State Farm. A lot of different members of our community have stepped in and sponsored this thing. Ray Collins Insurance is another one, Van Atkins. So we've got a community that supports us.
Sure.
You're going to see some ads on that those are businesses that have supported us. But overall, it's going to be an opportunity for people that can't get into the game to watch that and keep up with us.
Well, and the reality is nobody wants to not have a stadium full of people when they're competing, right? I mean, every kid wants to see the bleachers packed full.
Absolutely.
But this is the next best thing with the day that we're in right now, with the coronavirus that's happening, the pandemic right now. So I think you've done a really good job enlisting a whole bunch of help, like Mr. Chris Russell and the New Albany High School Journalism Club, to make the live stream happen. And I know they've worked really hard to make it a first-class broadcast. It's not just going to be one camera. They're going to have multiple cameras. So if you would, go to our school website. From there, you can get to our Facebook page, Twitter. You can get to Coach's football page. That way you can follow and not miss out on anything. So, Coach, as we move on, is there anything else you want to talk to the fans about?
Big thing, like you said, we want this to be the place to be on Friday nights. Obviously, that's going to be a little bit different this year. But make sure you follow us. Make sure you stay informed about what we're doing, because we appreciate you. We appreciate your support. And we're excited about having a great season this year.
Yeah, so for Paul Henry and for Coach Cody Stubblefield, we want to thank you for joining us on Inside New Albany High School Football, brought to you by Gumtree Mortgage, and we hope to see you next week.
Go Bulldogs.
Thanks for joining us for the pregame show.
Hey, guys, anytime we can help you with your mortgage needs, just give Jody or I a call at Gumtree Mortgage. Thanks.
Go Dogs.